is what flows in this fam's DNA. Dope is what flows in this fam's DNA.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to Dope Interviews, brought to you by the Mighty 19 Media Group. And this is a special edition of Dope Interviews where we are talking with the cast of BMF Season 3. So don't have the usual intro and kind of pleasantries going on this week, but a great interview and conversation with Jason C. Louder and Kelly Hu from BMF Season 3. Enjoy. And what's good here in our BMF Season 3 segment here with some of the cast members from the great BMF season. I have my guy, Jason C. Louder. He plays Remy Ransom. Jason, what's good, family? How you doing?
What's good, King Warner? How you feeling, brother?
Brother, it's very, very nice to see you, man. I'm very excited to have this conversation. I know we have a few minutes, so we're going to jump right in. First of all, so excuse my ignorance in this situation, but was Remy Ransom a real individual that the BMF crew had to deal with?
No, he was I guess an amalgamation of different people. You know what I mean? So definitely a character that was created by the team.
So when you were reading the script, in essence, and understanding that too, because again, it is a mix of different people that they really did deal with, and as you alluded to, maybe some different parts of it. How do you feel when you read it? Like, what resonated with you to kind of bring this character to life on screen?
For me, the biggest thing was him protecting his community. I mean, because that was so important, right? Yeah. And so that resonated with me because I think we all have felt that desire to protect our community. And so that's why I was able to tap into and just play that as truthfully as possible.
I think that's, I know we're on the Starz platform here too, but there was another character in kind of gangster filmography, if you some will, and I don't know if you're going to go with it, but Omar from The Wire kind of had some of that same similarities. And so when I saw your character, kind of like the Robin Hood of the hood, and I thought Omar a little bit as well too. I don't know. Did you see any similarities to maybe some of that?
You know what? You might pull my black card. I only saw one episode of The Wire.
Bro, you good. But I think in general, it is somebody again who really kind of felt like, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this thing, and he was actually robbing the drug dealer, so not the exact same situation, but he was trying to keep the community kind of safe in a very, very unique way. And I think that your character definitely has a lot of that in what he's bringing to the on screen. So, with it not being somebody that was a real character, but he has become very pivotal to season 3 here. Talk a little bit about, the progression, if you will, of Remy's role against the BMF family.
Yeah, so I think that as we see the dynamic starting to move, because both he and Meech are alpha males, right? Yeah. And so they both feel like, yo, I'm right. What I say is what goes. And so we see the progression come to a completely explosive head, right? And so that's the energy. That's what happens. And I think as Remy begins to continue to want to protect his community and see as he sees his own team start to start to break away, it's like, hey, you know what? It's at all costs now. And unfortunately, if we would have put some egos to the side, he and Meech maybe could have come to some terms.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it's interesting, right? Because there are some similarities, I think, in terms of their overall approach, if you will. And, what I love about the dynamic of the characters is, like I said, again, everybody's doing what they want to do, albeit misguided. They're doing it for what they feel is the right reasons for what they're trying to actually accomplish, right?
Correct.
Can you share with me again just any behind the scenes moments, you know what I mean? And talking about that, because this cast, I've had the pleasure of working and talking to some of the other cast members, and they said it's just a great environment. What has been your experience, especially coming into now in season 3, when some of that stuff has already been pre-established, but how were you welcomed in as a cast member?
Oh man, I was fully welcome. From day one, I was season 2, the end of season 2. It was like, hey, you know what? We really want you to tell this story. And so even from the writers' perspectives, from the producers, Heather, I can't thank them enough. Heather, Shaquela, even Meech, he embraced me. He was like, "Hey, man, let's do our work. Let's rehearse. Let's go right." And even with Claude, my right hand man, Jordan, he was like, "Hey, man, let's rehearse. We want to make this as believable as possible." So everybody was BMF, the family part. that's what resonated with me the most on set. It was like a family.
Yeah, I mean, and that's that when I spoke to Meech last year, that's kind of what he said as well too. Even him coming in as a young actor, he was welcome, so he wanted to make sure he was able to do that as well too. Last one before we got to rip and run here too is how does BMF compare to you in terms of other series that you've been a part of? Just that overall experience for you as an actor.
Wow, so Warren, I've been blessed, man. I've had very similar experiences on Wu-Tang.
Yep.
and Black Lightning.
Yep.
So that family atmosphere is what I'm used to now. So my prayer is that as I continue to progress on my acting journey, that I continue to have these experiences because I want to bring them to. Now I'm going to bring this experience to my other sets. I'm going to treat people like family. You know what I'm saying?
I love it, Jason. I think you're getting the glory and the desire, everything that's coming your way that's due to you. Because again, I think you are a genuine individual. So I'm glad to see that that's being paid back to you as well too in your acting career. Thank you so much for joining us here, man. Looking forward to watching the rest of the season and seeing. Yes. Hopefully you make it out, brother. But see how it goes from there, my guy.
I appreciate you, King. Thank you, Warren.
Peace.
Are you ready to step up your style without compromising the planet? Introducing the exciting partnership between Blueview Footwear and the 19 Media Group Network. Just visit bit.ly/Blueview19 to start your sustainable style journey. Our friends over at Blueview Footwear are renowned for introducing the world's first fully biodegradable sneaker. By using plant-based plastics, they are leading a revolution in cleaner materials and manufacturing. They have sleek and contemporary styles that cater to a wide range of tastes. Blueview Footwear believes that fashion and sustainability can coexist harmoniously. Explore their incredible collection of eco-friendly footwear by visiting bit.ly/Blueview19. If you let us know you made a purchase, we'll shout you out on our next show. Again, just visit bit.ly/Blueview19 today, and you'll see the ultimate collaboration of fashion, sustainability, and media excellence.
And as we start part 2 of our behind-the-scenes look at BMF Season 3, now we have the great Kelly Hu with us, who plays Detective Jin on BMF Season 3. She's been also in Season 2 as well, too. Kelly, what's good, family? How are you?
I am doing great. How are you today?
Doing great. Very great to make your acquaintance here, too. And, I'm really excited. Your character, listen, I don't like cops, in these types of shows, but you do a really good job in terms of keeping my disdain alive for that. That means you're a great actress, right? So I'm always rooting for the bad guys, so you have to forgive me on that. But Season 3 begins with some new challenges, for your role. Without giving too much away, like what can you tell us about your character's arc, even from Season 2 into kind of what Season 3 brings for her?
I think in Season 3, you're going to get a little bit more of the background of her. There's a lot of appearances with my dad, a lot of really great scenes with my dad. Talking a little bit more about my sister and losing her, and that relationship that builds with Amberson, Detective Amberson. Who sort of fills in that hole in Jin's heart, having lost her sister as a child. And I think also, you see Jin sort of wrestling with, what's right and helping Bryant, and going against everything that, she stands for. So there's a lot of that turmoil going on within her.
Well, leads us to our next question, because I think it is very, very poignant, right? Your character does find herself in a lot of, I'd say, let's call it morally gray areas. So how do you approach, I think, that aspect of that duality, right? You're trying to be a cop, but you're into some things that, make it a little bit hard to kind of always follow the straight and narrow.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's the great writing, right? I mean, I think in life, so many times we are faced with these sort of dilemmas, like, what do I do? What do I do? And sometimes the right thing is not always the lawful thing, right?
Facts.
I mean, you're like, so I think it's great. I love that they are having these kinds of dilemmas in somebody who plays a cop, you're, who's supposed to always be doing the right thing. But sometimes that just can't be done.
Yeah, no, I think that's very, very true. And I guess you've been in the industry for a while here now. So what creative privileges do you get, or do you kind of impart on, say, you know what, I think this might play better, in this role, like understanding your embodiment of that character? Do you kind of, I guess, freelance or freestyle a little bit, on set or any of the script?
I don't think I've really had to do much of that in this. I feel like so much of it was written so well that I was able to just sort of fall into it and understand, so much more about the character with every script.
Word.
Sometimes I would have questions like, why is she doing this? Like in season 2 where she goes in and she saves the guy in the fire and then has this beautiful conversation with him in the ambulance, and finds out that he's a Vietnam vet and all this kind of stuff. Some of that for me was hard to understand. But then, when I get to talk to the writers like Mike Lee, who's so brilliant, he explains, her psyche. It's her trying to save people. She couldn't save her sister, so she's trying to save this guy, and it's so much of it has to do with the loss of her sister and her background. And I think so much of us, we always make decisions according to our own life experiences.
Final couple ones here before we wrap up here too. Like, one thing I notice about cops in general, or at least their portrayal on television, is like, somebody always gets suspended. They get their badge taken away or something like that, and then it's like, all right, well, I'm suspended. It's a wrap. And then they go like ham. Like, what is the situation? Like, what is the deal with that? Like, or what can you tell us into that? The mindset of even playing a cop. Like, hey, when you take that piece of tin, I think, as Brian says in one of the episodes, away, what changes the narrative of how they work and how they operate?
I think it's because so much of their personality and their self-worth lies on that little piece of metal, right? Relies on that piece of metal being in their possession. And once you take that away, they lose all of their power and their righteousness, right? So I can see how that would make somebody kind of go crazy, or either they're going to go into depression, or they're going to fight back and get some sort of revenge for having lost this power.
And the last one I have for you, Kelly, really quickly, is just the overall arc for your character and her impact on kind of the BMF series. Like, how do you see that progressing, kind of as things play out?
Well, I think that, Jin plays a very important role in their investigation into Henry. And, she's just, her whole world is about taking down BMF and trying to stay on this side of the line, this side of the law. But then, you get her relationship with Kobe sort of blossoming, and you see her, happy at in a way that you've never seen her before.
Yeah, you definitely smile more this season.
Yeah, definitely have a lot more fun, right? You see a lot of banter and back and forth with Kobe, which makes it that much harder when you see things turn. Yeah.
Well, that's a good place to wrap, so we don't do any spoilers here as well, too.
I know. It's so hard.
But make sure you follow Kelly at Kelly Who on Instagram. Make sure you follow BMF Starz, man. So much fun talking to you, Kelly. Great. Continued success to you, man. Well, hopefully we'll talk again down the line.
I hope so. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Together we stand, divided we never. The vision is one, striving for the better. Working as a team, working toward a dream. It's not even work when the team is the dream. On a united front, we got our own back. A band of brothers to counteract any attack. One heart in fact, forget what the blood say. Dope is what flows in this fam's DNA. So let's do it for the love, give to the max. Listen to opinion, but react to facts. And remember that together with a shh, but separate, just pieces of it. Dope is what flows in this fam's DNA. Dope is what flows in this fam's DNA.
Family represent like a tree with names on it. We're free, no chains on it. Relieved, the pain's gone, I can see. We come together like questions on the quiz. Mojo Flow and Viz, man, you know what it is. And if ignorance is bliss, you're gonna hate this lesson. Organized intellect like a tropical depression. My symbol is the cross, a mic and ghost peppers. Cause I'm just a black sheep growing up to be a shepherd. Moonlighting as a weapon to protect the children. Every brother is a father, dynasties we're building. Max, J and K, Baby, and Isaiah, next level of the family foundation, understand me?